Hello, and welcome to another episode of Fahzaly Advice. I truly do hope that you found value in the information and in my words in the last episode, and that hopefully the information that I presented will help somebody find the courage to speak out whenever necessary. Now then, let's get on into the very first submission of today's episode, shall we? And it comes to us from Feeling Unwanted. And they write, Dear Fahza, I have been struggling with my mental health as of late. People have been telling me that I'm degrading myself when I'm being goofy or funny, and they tell me to be normal. So I don't know what to do anymore. People are making me feel unwanted and making me feel as if I don't matter, and that is the main cause of my struggle right now. Sincerely, Feeling Unwanted. Well, now, feeling unwanted. I understand how this feels, but I want you to understand something, that this comes from a place of wanting to please others. Ultimately, the question stands, what does it matter that they're telling you to be normal? That they're telling you any of this? Because the truth of the matter is, as long as you are enjoying yourself and you're doing what you want to do, what anyone else says is meaningless. Because their opinion doesn't matter to you and how you're going to live your life. Because they're not going to be living your life for you. They don't live with the consequences of your actions, nor do they gain the boons from you being you. That is all for you, my friend. So why are you considering other people when it comes to how you want to be and what you want to do in life? If you want to be goofy, if you want to be funny, then it doesn't matter what other people think. If the people around you currently think that all you're doing is degrading yourself and they want you to act normal, then they just can't handle you, and they don't need to be around you. Keep being yourself. Keep acting as you wish to be, and you will find the people who want to be around you for you, not for you being who they want you to be. You have no need to acquiesce to other people, to change for other people. This is not their life, and you're not here to be for them. You're here to be for you, my friend. So whatever it is that you choose to do in life, be it a stand-up comedian, an entertainer, a content creator, whatever you want to do in life, this is your choice. So you need to stop considering others when it comes to that. Because the people who will stay in your life, that will matter and that care about you, will stick around. Not because you stop being who they wanted you to be, because you started being who you wanted to be. Because people who care about you want that for you. They don't want something out of you. They don't want you to be someone for them. They would love to see you thrive as you. That's what people who care about you want to see. They don't want to see you thrive under the ambitions and stipulations of how they think you should be or how others think you should be. You're not alive to fulfill expectations. You live to live, my friend. And this is your life. This is your gift to behold, to relish in each of its moments, be it the good, the bad, and all the moments in between. And there are so many people out there that are stuck trying to chase these big moments, that they need others to fit into this box so that they can reach whatever goal that they want without even realizing how selfish that thought process is. For you to be you and for you to reach the goals that you want to reach, you shouldn't need others around you to change. Because the only person that needs to change when it comes to you reaching your success and you being who you want to be is you. That is all that matters. You have no right to dictate the change of others just as much as they have no right to dictate the change of yourself. Now, I understand the struggle because, as I said, it comes from a mentality of people pleasing. And that is a mentality that many people have, that we've been stuck in, that we've been trained to be part of in this societal structure that we live in. And it's easy to get lost in that. It's easy to forget that we matter, that the quintessential I matters in this time, in this world, in what you do. You matter. And what you want in this life matters. And you're going to have to get into the mindset that no one's going to give it to you. And I'm not talking about romantic relations or familial relations or relations in general. I am talking about you, my friend, and your goals, your dreams, what you want from life that involves you and you alone, my friend. Each one of us has a journey to take that is unique to us, a success that is unique to us, and that we reach in our own way. So don't sit there thinking that you need to be what other people say that you need to be. Don't sit there thinking that you need to compare yourself to others. For you have your own journey, your own story to write, and it will unfold in its own way. And as daunting as that might seem, that is also the most thrilling part of it, because in there lies the greatest power that you have, my friend, the control that you have. When you start to realize that this is yours and that you need to take hold, to take accountability and responsibility for your life, for this gift that has been given to you, the time that is yours. And you need not do it at the behest of others. You are not beholden to someone else. So what are you going to do with that? That is a choice that you have to make. And I know that's scary. But you know what courage is, right, my friend? Courage is being able to step forward in the face of fear, with a heart full of fear. There is only courage when there is fear. And fear is nothing more than a teacher. There's nothing wrong with being afraid, as long as you don't allow it to cow you from stepping forward, from discovering what could be, what would be, what will be. Because you will succeed, my friend. No matter what you might think. Because you might be afraid that if people don't accept you, that you will fail. But you don't need their acceptance to succeed. You don't need their acceptance to live. You don't need their acceptance to be you. Because there are so many people out there. And if they have yet to discover you, well, hiding yourself away by being what other people want you to be is a disservice to not just yourself, to the world. The world deserves to see you as you wish to be, not what other people want you to be. There's already them. They exist. Why should you try to be a carbon copy in their eyes of what they think is the standard of life, when you have your own standard to discover, your own failures, your own story to discover in its own ways, in its own twists, and in its own delights, in the big moments and in the small. Because life is more than just chasing these large successes. It's about seeing life as its entirety, knowing that every step you take is a step forward, and that time waits for no one. The sun is always burning, the world is always turning, and time waits for no one, my friend. And as long as you are alive, you are living, you are experiencing, and you are changing. And the power that you have is the power to dictate where that change takes you, where that time takes you. But it's on you. It's on you to realize that. Stop letting other people have that power. Stop letting other people tell you how you should feel, who you should be, how you should act, and let you feel ashamed when you want to break out of that. Because if they want that from you, that is their own selfish need, and you need not acquiesce to that. Stand and shine and be yourself, my friend. I'm saying a lot of redundant things here because I'm trying to hammer in the truth that a lot of people forget. The truth that a lot of people give away. This power of control. We let other people hold it. We let society hold it over us, as if we have no control over what we want to do, how we want to be, how we want to act, and how we want to develop in life. We are not stuck at the whims of substantial circumstance or our emotions or our mental states or any of that. Apologies. For in the moment, yes, there may be moments where we fall to the whims of ourselves. But if we begin to open our eyes and see that as long as we are willing to get through it, to get to it, to work and gain what we need to be more, to be better, to be what we want to be, it is only then we would truly be powerful. We will regain what we have lost when society has pounded it away from us, stolen it, blinded us, making us think that we have to step in line, that the nail that sticks up gets hammered down. We are not metaphors. We are not ideas. We are not concepts. We are living, ever-changing, biological, growing beings in a life that constantly, tumultuously, and chaotically changes before our very eyes. And every day we wake up, we're different from the experiences that we had from the day before. And even though we don't see it, even though it might seem minute, that change is there. And the more we recognize it, the more we're able to take hold of it and control it and make what we want into a reality. That is one of the greatest strengths that humanity has, is our imagination, is our capability to see the impossible and turn it into a reality in one way or another. People have been doing that time and time again. Who's to say that you can't? No one, except for you. And the more you're willing to just sit there and let life pass you by, thinking that you have no control, that you have to be this, that you have to be that, my friend, there is more to lose than there is to gain from that. You don't need to be accepted by anyone. What you need to do is accept yourself. Accept that you don't need to be what anyone wants you to be, and that you will be happier being yourself. And it takes courage to get to that point. It takes courage to admit that. Because it's a scary point to realize. Because it's a point where you also realize that only you and you alone can do this. And that might seem lonely. But if you take hold of it, it will be powerful, my friend. So, in the struggle that you have, my best advice is to let go. Let go of those people. Let go of that pain. Because you don't need their acceptance. You don't need to act their normal. Because here's the truth. There's no normal. Normal doesn't exist. That is the greatest lie to ever exist, to create this cage of expectations for people. It doesn't exist. So what are you going to do with that? What are you going to be? I can't wait to see, my friend, because it's going to be amazing. You are amazing. Don't you ever forget that. And I truly do appreciate your submission. And I hope that you found value in what I said and that this does help you, my friend. Because remember, even though you're feeling unwanted, you are wanted. You just need to find the people out there that willingly want to be there with you when you're being you, not what other people want you to be. All right, my friend? Alrighty then. Let's move on, shall we? Thank you so much. To the second submission. Let's go.
Well, hey there, everybody. Mr. Announcer and
Random Skull?
And we're here to let you know that Asian Pasha Gamer also streams live on Twitch 5 days a week and sometimes on YouTube.
And if you want to continue to support Asian Father Gamer, check out the links for his Twitch and his YouTube, all in the link tree.
That's right. Check out those links.
Alrighty then, my friends. Welcome back, and let's get on in to the second submission, which is brought to us by Dazed and Confused. And they write, Dear Fasha, I've been smoking cannabis for a couple years now, and life just doesn't seem fun without it. Every time I do something I would usually enjoy, it is clouded by thoughts like, this would be so much better if I was high right now. Is there something wrong with this mentality? Sincerely, Dazed and Confused. Alrighty then. Let's talk about this because I have a lot to say, so buckle up, my friends. Now, I am a cannabis use advocate, but there are stipulations behind that. And this in itself is quite a loaded topic. And to be honest, I was expecting this topic to come up sooner or later within Fahzaly Advice. Not just because I am an advocate of cannabis use and I do talk about it regularly on my streams, but also because, well, it is something that is part of Western society and part of controversy within Western society in a lot of ways, both politically and sociologically. Now, me personally, as I've stated, I am an advocate for the use of cannabis, but only in the sense for the medical use, as I have seen the good that it can do. For the first introduction that I had to cannabis and its uses, other than the sensationalization and the media, was to help those that were undergoing, well, fatalistic diseases. I had the fortunate opportunity while I was living in Southern California to work with a specific individual that distributed medical cannabis to specifically patients who had fatal diagnoses. And because of this, my introduction to cannabis was quite positive, because I saw the effects that it had done, or the help that it had given to people who were suffering, who were in pain, who couldn't even think to stomach a single morsel of food. But it was thanks to medical cannabinoids, that they were able to actually eat something, to enjoy themselves, to have relief without the side effects that would come with opiates that are regularly distributed within the pharmaceutical environment in modern day society. Now, because of this, I also have my own stipulations, as I stated, as an advocate for medical cannabis. One of those stipulations is my main advocacy for its use is in the relief and the medical side of what cannabis can provide for others, not in the day-to-day usage for the sake of a vice, much like alcohol or nicotine. These vices are ultimately parts of our life that we use to cope with damages. And sadly, though I do not judge anybody for their vices, I'm not going to sit here and say that everybody should be smoking cannabis. That is a very obtuse thought process. I know of the benefits and the detriments, because much like anything in life, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And within moderation, a good thing can continue to aid in day-to-day life, depending on how you use it and how responsible you are with its use. I have seen cannabis help people get through their day-to-day, helping them with their mental state, helping them with their everyday pain, and as well as some severe cases, much more severe pain, insomnia, and the like. But I'm not going to sit here and say that cannabis is a cure-all. It's not snake oil. It's not going to be something that immediately makes you healthy or something on the lines. No, it is a supplement at best. And my advocacy stops, or begins at the very least, at the age of 24. I don't believe that you should imbibe in cannabis, or really in any substance, until you're 24, if you can avoid it. Keywords here, if you can avoid it. I don't speak in totalities here, because when it comes to concepts like this, totalities are in a basis of a closed mind, and it doesn't allow for growth in how we see and perceive these items that can help, but also can be a detriment. It's about moderation. And I think it is a concept that has been lost in society. I've seen it go to the wayside in so many conversations, thought processes, and in arguments, in this necessity or need to be right, and thinking of every concept of life in this monolithic fashion without realizing that life is to be viewed in moderation, in context. And it can't just be simply used as a point to judge one to another when one concept doesn't coincide with another. Just because one thing is one way doesn't mean that that becomes the determining judgmental viewpoint or perception that you use to view everything. Every single item in life needs to be viewed and considered in its own context and nuance. Just like every moment in every situation in life, nothing can be viewed as a monolith. Not even what people say can be viewed as a monolith. And that is one of the sad things that I see society, media, people, the mob mentality to do so often. Now, I do digress a little bit here, as this does deal with the subject at hand, but at the same time, it does not. Now, when it comes to the subject at hand, what you submitted here, is there something wrong with this mentality? In truth, I am not one to be able to tell you whether or not there is something wrong with this mentality. But what I will tell you is, look at the reasons why you feel this way. Not simply allow yourself to be comfortable and acquiesce to the base process of what you are thinking currently. Dig deeper and consider why you feel this way, where it's coming from, the root of it. Once you find that out, use that discovery to explore even further as to why you do this and why you sent in a submission asking if there's something wrong with this mentality. That right there may begin, or at the very least, give you the question that will give you your direction as to what you are looking for in this submission. At least what answer that you are currently searching for. Because as it stands, I could make a lot of assumptions based on this submission. A lot of negative assumptions. But there's not enough details here, and I don't know you as a person to be able to determine anything. Assumptions mean little to nothing, because what really matters is who you are as a person. How does this affect you and your life, your choices, and is it what you want to do? Ultimately, that is the question that you have to ask yourself. Is this what you want to do? Is this where you want to be in life? Is this where you want to stay in that mentality of thinking that you might need an altering substance to continue? I'm not saying that there's something wrong with having a vice. We all have our vices in one way or another. Be it gaming, be it the gym, be it shopping, be it talking with our friends. They're all vices in one way or another that help us cope with reality. To judge one method by another without realizing that we ourselves are partaking in a similar action, and just because we don't perceive it as something negative that is under the same connotation as a label that is as heavy as addiction, when it comes down to it, anything that we do in life can become an addiction. Be it going to the gym, talking to your friends, relieving yourself, having to have a beer, having a cigarette. They're all along the same lines when you really think about it. And I'm not saying that in a way that you need to feel ashamed for having a vice. Life is big. It is overwhelming. And as living beings, that have minds that are constantly changing. We need ways to cope, to be able to continue and to make the world palatable so that we can absorb and continue to grow from the experiences that are part of what living is. Now, as I stated, ultimately, when it comes to something as serious as this thought process, once again, find the root cause. But the only person who can do that really is you. I might point you in the right direction, even going to a professional therapy, which is, in my opinion, and in my is advice that I do give to you, dazed and confused submitter, that you might want to consider getting professional help to find that root cause, because mental health is a difficult road, and self-improvement is a road that has no end, and you need to continue to walk this, to grow as you, to live as you. Now, this might seem hypocritical coming from myself, someone who actually regularly, daily imbibes in cannabis, but I do it for a medical reason. Does that make it any better than someone who has to take anxiety medication to get through their day or something of the like? No. I use medical cannabis because I suffered, or at the very least, suffer from seizures. And it's thanks to self-medication of using medical cannabis that I have been clonic tonic or grand mal seizure free for almost 2.5 years. Let's knock on some wood here. I still have symptoms, I do, but not as nearly as severe as they used to be, nor are the side effects of what I do as severe as when I chose the pharmaceutical path. But that is the reason as to why I do it. I know my reason, and I make no excuses for it. Now, it's time for you, my friend, to answer that question, to find the root cause as to why you do this. Because when we find the root cause as to why we do something, then we can find the control to change it if we want to. But it starts with you looking inward, taking accountability and responsibility for yourself, and deciding whether or not you want to change, whether or not you need to change. But then again, once again, the submission was submitted with the question of, is there something wrong with this mentality? And that might be something to consider when that question is brought to the forefront. So I do hope that this helps and that you found value in my words. And I truly do appreciate your courage for both you as well as our first submitter for submitting to Fahzaly Advice. And I truly do appreciate all of the submitters and all of y'all who do watch and support me as a content creator. Thank you so very much. Alrighty then, my friends, it's time. Love train rolling on through. Choo choo. I love every single freaking one of you. Well, everybody, that's the end of Fahzaly Advice. I hope you did enjoy this episode and you found some value in what I said. And of course, if you are interested in participating, if you need some advice or some perspective, feel free to email the address at the end of this part. And remember, all submissions are 100% anonymous. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.
Need some perspective? Need some advice? Want your submission read on podcast? Well, email Fahza at fahzalyadvice@gmail.com. And remember, all submissions are 100% anonymous unless requested upon.